Hello and welcome to another game of Trap Chess. Today we have White playing 2 chess piece traps and 2 landmines. Black is playing 9 chess piece traps and 9 landmines. They are playing Official Game Mode 1. The rules for Official Game Mode 1 can be found in the description to the video on the YouTube channel. White has started the game by fighting for the center. Black has a nice diagonal going with their bishop on the g7 square, but it is blocked by their pawn on the e5 square. White appears to have an early advantage here, and they have already crossed to Black's side of the board without activating any traps. It's most certainly going to be an uphill battle for White here because Black has so many traps. It's going to be difficult to avoid those traps as the game goes on. However, the placement of the traps is the most important part. Only Black knows where they place their traps, so they should use that to their advantage to try to force White into those positions with the specified pieces, so White loses more pieces. When you search for positive mental health benefits of chess, one of the things you'll find is improved memory. Remembering where you placed your traps is a new mechanic that can also help improve your memory as you play trap chess. The better you get at remembering where you placed your traps hidden on the board, the easier it becomes to trick your opponent and to win more pieces through the trap mechanic. White is using their bishops for offense and their knights for defense this game so far. By putting their bishop on the c5 square, Black is no longer able to castle on the king side. In castling, you're not allowed to jump over a square where you would be in check, so the f8 square is currently blocked from the king jumping over because of the bishop on the c5 square. When I was a kid and I'd go trick-or-treating, I remember there was a candy bar called Take 5. So if they said, hey, you can take 1, I'd always take a Take 5 because it felt like I was cheating the system. Here it looks like Black has finally gotten rid of that bishop problem from the c5 bishop, but it cost them their own bishop. White continues the onslaught by moving their pawn up, and it's the first trap activation of the game on the g6 square. That pawn looked like it was about to become a problem for Black, so it was very helpful that they had a bomb pawn landmine on the g6 square to remove it. Black's knight now targets the c2 square for a fork on the king and the rook, but White blocks it by moving their bishop back, and now they're pushing Black's knight away with their pawn on the a3 square. Black is trying to make something happen here by getting a little more aggressive as they realize being defensive isn't helping since there aren't any trap activations happening to remove White's pieces. Here though, White flips it and attacks the h5 square and checks Black's king, forcing it to the left side towards the corner. That flip was great, though I wish they stuck the landing more, but if they stuck the landing too well, it would have been difficult to remove it. The rook on the d1 square sets up an X-ray attack to attack the king on the d8 square. As soon as the bishop is moved off of the d3 square, Black will be in check. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of pieces on the white squares for Black to attack with the bishop while checking the king. Black has noticed this problem and moved their king over to the c8 square. White opts to trade and take the knight on the f5 square, and Black runs more towards the corner instead of taking the bishop back with their rook. Now the bishop is protected by the queen on the h5 square, and Black opts to take it, which makes me think there may be a trap hidden inside of the rook that takes out queens. White had the option to take Black's queen, but instead they decide to protect their own queen and continue the onslaught. This appears to be a much better move because they're able to move their rook to the d8 square, forcing Black to trade their queen because the queen is now pinned. Black opts to run with their king instead of taking the rook. White now has a commanding lead on this game. If you were to run some of these moves through Stockfish, it may show that those weren't the best moves, but it looks like White has been making a lot of moves that mitigate the risk associated with the traps. As you can see, only one trap has activated so far on White and removed a pawn, so White has done a good job of not falling for any of the traps that Black may have hidden. Black finds a way to take a rook for free by checking White's king. This helped Black pick up some points, but now their king is close to white's knight and queen, so it's possible that white can use this to their advantage to go for the win. Here, white opts to take the pawn on the a5 square. This forks the knight on the b6 square and the king, so now black is going to lose their knight. The rook in the corner is pretty useless at this point to be able to help with this onslaught. Black decides to take the pawn on the h4 square to try to bring their rook back into the action. This opens up a fork for white. If they move their queen to the d8 square, they'll be checking the black king and attacking the rook on the h4 square. As long as black didn't draw and hide a bomb queen chess piece trap in the rook, white will be safe, and this gives them a big lead. Now they just have to get their knight and their queen positioned properly to be able to finish off black. White putting their knight on the d8 square forks the b7 square where the pawn is. If their queen can get there, they'll have checkmate, and it forked the rook, which had to move out of the way. Now white can go in for checkmate on the b7 square, pending any trap activations. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and comment your thoughts on trap chess. Next up, I'll show all of the trap locations for the landmines hidden on the board.